Welcome back. Please meet my dermatologist, Dr. Elizabeth Callahan from SkinSmart Dermatology. Well, I came to you a few months ago. You'd been doing my Botox for years, and I said, okay, I'll be 77 in a few months. What can I do to look as good as I possibly can look? And what did you tell me?
I told you that, firstly, most important is what are you looking to achieve? Are you looking to freshen? You want to look better, a little bit better, a little softer. And what's really important is to know your goals, and then for us to get to know each other. And then, for me, my job is to select the right paintbrushes, to pick the filler that's going to work in the right area to achieve the goals that you want. And so in your particular case, Linda, I chose a couple different fillers, actually 3 different fillers. And I used them in 3 different areas to get the effect that we're going to see in the pictures.
Okay, let's take a look at the pictures now. Okay, get ready for a scare.
Ah! Linda, you look great. The real you.
Now, that's on the left. That's before.
That's before.
And on the right is after?
Yep, after actually all of your treatments are on
This
the
is
left.
the end. Okay.
Well, you really can see it in the cheek folds.
Yeah, you can.
That's amazing. That
That's
looks
where
wonderful.
And you overall, her face looks rounder, less rectangular, everything's softer.
So what did you use around her lips and her mouth?
So around her lips is actually the most complex area.
And I had a lot of lines. I never smoked, but I had a lot of lines around my lips.
What I had to do with fillers, I had to rebuild her chin a little bit. I had to use a fairly stout filler called Radiesse, and I had to kind of build a reshape and redesign her jawline and actually create a longer jawline because she was losing her jaw. Because as women age, our chins actually shrink and move backwards, and our chins get smaller. So what I needed to do with the Radiesse is reshape and lengthen your chin. That was the first step. That was the foundation of the house. Then up above it, the next step on Linda was I wanted to build with a product called Perlane, which is a hyaluronic acid. I was in your marionette lines, which are what we call the puppet lines, which are the lines along this just beneath the mouth. And then right up at the corners, I used a thinner, finer filler called Restylane, and I used Restylane to sort of shape the corners of her mouth. So it really was all 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, let's look at a picture of the lips, because that was amazing to me. I'd been told it couldn't be done, that you could not do that without being off work for a long time. So this is the lip, right?
And that's really a point.
You can see the difference.
Yeah, we have a brand new filler. It's called Restylane Silk, and it's a fabulous filler for fine lines. And I was telling patients upwards of 2 years ago that really the only way you could get away from wrinkles, straw lines, smoker's lines, was that you'd have to do a laser that would put you 2 weeks in the house. But now with Restylane Silk, I have a super fine line. I can create an airbrushed-like effect on the upper lip without making the lip bigger. So if you look at Linda's lip in this picture, the aging lip gets longer. A woman's lip gets longer, and that's a part of what ages the female. And then basically by smoothing the lines and curving a little bit up her lip line and her lip border, her Cupid's bow, then we're able to kind of lift the lip, and we're shortening the distance between her nose and her upper lip. So if you look at the pictures, I've actually shortened the distance a little bit.
And I never missed a day of work. I had them done on Friday. I was here on Monday. I even went to Bobette's birthday party the day after I had one of them done. Yes, and nobody could tell the difference.
How much did her genes have to do with, she looks fabulous, I think, for
Well, I've had a little help.
But tell me, what our genes have to do with our aging.
Linda is in amazing, amazing shape for her age, and she's taken really good care of her skin. When I'm up close and personal, there's not a lot of sun damage. There's really great elasticity to work with. And so it is important to think about prevention. It's important to think about what you do every day, the sunscreen and this and that. But as you get a little bit older and you see someone like me, fillers and the neurotoxins like Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin, those are important too, because those are ways that we relax muscles, relax skin, so that we can kind of bottle the aging process. We can kind of keep things
like this.
Wow, that's amazing.
Let's look at the one with spots, because I had one where I had a lot of brown spots on my face.
on your cheek.
And yes, and you were able to remove those spots.
And is that sun damage, or is that just heredity?
That's sun damage.
I was going to say, because
That's
I'm getting
age.
those too. I just wondered why.
Yeah.
So sun damage can be reversed.
Yes, yes, it can.
And what do you use for that?
Well, we can use, in this
there's the
particular
spot.
case, here are the spots. And in Linda's particular case, they were pretty subtle to me, but when she wears makeup, you don't see them. But when she doesn't wear makeup, she didn't want to have these brown spots on the weekends, what have you, a little less makeup. And she just wanted to sort of lighten things up. And what's amazing to me is by removing just a few brown spots, really creates kind of a nice shape to the cheek. There's almost a sheen, and it just looks youthful and fresh. And that's really what people want to do. They don't want to change their looks. Nobody wants funny lips or funny cheeks. They just want to look fresher.
One thing I did want to change, my neck. My neck was beginning to sag and really look old. And you can't see the difference yet, can you?
No, no, no. We did a procedure. Certain procedures, especially the deeper skin tightening procedures, they take months. And on Linda, we used a process called ultherapy. Ultherapy is actually focused ultrasound that is actually targeted to the deep facelift layer on Linda's neck. And we are hitting the facelift layer with these fine ultrasound beams that are super focused, creating heat and tightening. And when you injure the collagen and you're down at that depth of layer, it takes about 6 to 8 months to really see the results in the tightening. So today we brought, not Linda, but we brought a before and after of a real patient who's had ultherapy and the kind of results. It's very particular. It's obviously based on your genetics. It's based on your skin tone and texture. In Linda's case, if I may say, it was helpful that you'd had a facelift in the past. There was a little bit of drooping. It's been a couple of years, so she didn't want to go back under the knife. She wanted to just sort of freshen and do something that wasn't going to be surgery. And ultherapy was absolutely perfect.
Now these guys are very young.
Yeah, so what are
We've
some
got
things
20s
we
and
can
30s.
do to prevent or you know, make sure that we can maintain our look or youthful look?
Well, I mean, I've been using neurotoxins. I started using Botox in my late 20s, early 30s, and I am a firm believer. That's one of the reasons that I'm almost 50 years old, and people don't know that.
Yeah, you don't look 50.
You know, and Botox, I'm a firm believer that basically it kind of preserves where you are in time, and I also believe for young women in the career, I believe it provides like a competitive advantage. It makes you look more alive, more awake. Your eyes are open, and if neurotoxin, Botox, and Dysport are done right, you look great, you look fresh, and you don't have to look frozen.
All right, so I know this is probably not what I'm supposed to do, but since you're here, I figure, what should I do? Look at my face. I mean, I cannot pass this
That's exactly what I said too.
I cannot pass this opportunity up. So, like, what would you suggest for me?
Well, first, you know, the first thing, which is very hard for patients, is you have to come to my office without makeup, which is very, very hard.
You saw what I did.
And I bring out my magnifying glass, and we really look, and we look. You know, probably for you, we need to open up your pores a little bit. You're looking a little clogged, probably from wearing the makeup, being on the set. We're gonna basically take a look at what your skincare routine is, and then from there, we're gonna bring in a little neurotoxin to open your eyes a little bit,
I like
and maybe
that,
a little bit to your cheeks.
I go like this.
Yeah, we'll see if this works. Thank you so much,
Well,
Dr. Callahan.
I'm
It
sorry, I
sure
couldn't
worked
help
for
it.
me.
Thanks
Good
for
job,
having me.
Bobette. And for more information, go to SarasotaDermatologist.com. Thank you, Dr. Callahan.
you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
next
you.
we're going
Thank
to
you.
see For Sale on the Suncoast. How about living on Siesta Key?
I like it.